I've got a small one I can show too. We've been reworking Autovis stuff so that we're removing the notion of automatic entirely, and the Viz always just retains state. It's not perfect yet, but I will show a couple of examples about how it'll change things too. So if I add something like a data label to this viz and then add a new field to it, you'd want the data label to be retained. It doesn't currently do that, but it's nice to be able to have some of it pass back and forth. But we're still always taking into account changes to fields. So changing a field is effectively a piece of user input. But we've now added a little bit of metadata about the state of the viz config that certain things can be set manually. So we've got kind of like lightweight heuristics to always put, date, for example, on the x-axis. But it may be that I want for whatever reason I want status on the x-axis and I want it to be colored by the year. And if I were to, I think it's maybe I meant, quarter instead of year. I want to change the time frame. This would basically trigger a remapping in an older world or in the existing world with automatic, but this will actually retain the status setting on the x-axis too as being manually defined. So we're trying. It's definitely not perfect. We're not going to retain all of the updates when we remove. So like for example, if you change like the maybe I'll do more extreme one or something. If I change this palette directly and select it to, but then I also swap it back to year, you'd want the palette to be retained. That's not currently happening. We lose some of the settings based on how the data structure is created, but we're trying to
Oh,
basically.
so Jamie, just there, is that implicitly because the palette is set to quarter, not to year?
It's basically we set the palette on
Yeah, yeah,
the quarter object, and
yeah,
then we swap the quarter object out because the field's no longer present
yeah,
inside the
yeah.
data table. It's not
Is that
like
so?
I
Similarly,
yeah.
if you swap out order items count for order items sum spend, the label will disappear, I presume then?
Yes, that's right.
Okay,
That
so
because and
that
like
makes sense. Because
yeah,
it's like
and there
whether you're attaching it to the axis or the field almost.
that's right. And there's some things you can roughly think of them as stuff inside the axis options should be on the axis. So if I just say like whatever y-axis here, and then still swap out whatever this thing, it should retain.
Yeah.
There are some settings that are on an axis directly. There are some settings that are effectively series or specific field oriented things. Some that are not perfect. That like really the data structure is kind of wrong. For example, the scheme I think is something that we probably want to pull away from just being set on the field. It's just one that I want to work on right now. But yeah, this is sort of the quick high level. We'll probably try and merge it in soon too. But also just like note, there's no automatic. We're always in automatic mode and we're always retaining all of the state or trying to
Yeah.
retain all of the
So
state.
Jamie, on that one, is there a reset button somewhere that's like delete everything that
The
you
re
try again?
Yeah, there's a reset chart which effectively blows away all of the settings, but did not seem to work. So maybe that doesn't
Okay.
work right
Because
now.
I do think sometimes I find myself doing this and then I'm like, this is bad. I need to blow it up.
You know what? I bet it is blowing it up, but we're retaining the previous one. So yeah, we gotta go completely nuke it. Yeah, that's definitely very
Just need a
reasonable.
nuke button somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what this should do. But yeah, good call.
Thanks.
Excited about that, Jamie. That'll be great.